I mean, a lot of us know about Jimmy Terry, but if we talk about David Foster, because for those, I mean, most of us in R&B, apart from when he did the "Unbreak My Heart," but he was more known for doing stuff with Celine Dion and pop and stuff like that.
Oh,
Ha-
he no, his track record, you have to do some research,
oh,
is by far one of the most prolific and most well-rounded careers I've ever seen in my life.
wow.
Now, I'm gonna just throw a couple of songs at you. It's gonna tear you up. You probably don't even know that the stuff that he's wrote or that he's produced or he's been a part of. I don't know if you remember this song by Bloodstone, uh, Wildflower. You remember that song? No?
I'm sure if I hear it, I would know it. I'm sure.
Okay. You need to look that up. That is a crazy song. Okay, here's another one. Cheryl Lynn, to Got to Be Real. What you find?
Yep.
That's David Foster.
Oh, I thought it was Jimmy Terry. Wow.
No, Through the Fire.
Chaka
Shaka
Khan
Khan.
for
Yes. Here's another one. We probably know this one. For a while, when love was all we could do. After the love is gone, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
he did
It's,
that.
it's David Foster.
You kidding?
Yes. Like I said, you don't know this man's track record is unbelievable. Chicago. Hard to say I'm sorry. You're my inspiration. That's only part of. I went to this man's house. I actually worked on. He was working with Brandy on her Never Say Never album, I believe it is. He did a song called One Voice on that album, which he called me and asked me if I could come in help him. I ended up doing some drum. I played synth bass and drums and some keys, and he ended up playing some stuff on it, and made that record. But I went to his home, and I think he does this on purpose. So he says, "Yeah, let me take you into the office, so we can talk about it." And you walk into his office. This office, first of all, is the size of a warehouse. Okay, that's number one. But let me tell you this: every inch of that warehouse, on all the four walls, are covered platinum and gold records.
Wow.
I kid you not. If there's one time I was really like just really taken aback, that would be one of them, because I had no idea of this man's. I mean, I knew about it, but I just didn't know it was to that extent of that. Just every inch of all four walls were covered in gold and platinum records. I've never seen anything. Not even my Godfather's repertoire was like that. I was like, I mean, and it was huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My Godfather's got, yeah, he has sold over 130, 40 million records. So he's got plaques, and he's got, he's got, records, gold, platinum records, but not like David.
Yeah, you know what? I don't. I didn't realize
Woo!
he did so much R&B soul music. I knew
Oh
he did a
yeah.
few, but not to that extent. And
Oh yes.
wow.
Trust me. Go look him up. Oh, let me see. I think I got a. Where's my thing at? No, I was looking at
Yeah,
my iPad,
no,
but
it's fine. Yeah, no, we're gonna do some because as I said, it's stuff.
do
It's yeah,
do
we're
your
gonna
research.
yeah, because as I said, I mean, but how did you get introduced to him?
One of his engineers, I think, I knew one of his engineers, and he, oh yeah, no, I tell you what, I know exactly what happened. I did a remix for Brandy. Brandy did a live show. I can't remember it. She did the song "Baby, Baby, 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 Baby,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Baby." I ended up doing the live version of that, and I flipped it and put a whole bunch of stuff in it. And she played it live. I can't remember what show award it was, but I think David Foster was there. He asked the director of the show, like, "Hey, who did the music? Who did the arrangement for that Baby, Baby, Baby song with Brandy?" And the guy said, "Oh, this kid Chuckii Booker." So he got my number and he called me and said, "Hey, come up to the house. I want you to,
No, no, so
you know."
did he just call you and did you say who's this? And he said
Yeah,
it's
he just
David.
called. He just called and said, "Hey, this is David Foster." He was cool, and he's mad cool. David is mad cool,
No,
super
how
cool.
does it to receive a call from David Foster at that time that you
Oh,
knew? Were you shocked,
Honestly,
or you knew before he was going to call on?
no, I didn't know he was going to call. No, honestly, I was blown away because, like I said, as a kid, I listened to all the Chicago records. I listened to all that stuff, everything that he's done. So I know his style. I know his flavor. And like I said, I'm a sponge. I have many, many influences. It's not just people just say, oh, he's just a Prince influence. No, no, no. Prince is one of my many influences. But before that, it was Stevie and uh, David Foster, Jay Graydon, all those guys. Bootsy, Parliament. I have a serious funk, repertoire too. So I listen to it all. Jazz.
Wow, goodness.
I listen. I get it all.
Yeah,
it's not just Prince.
Yeah, no, I definitely need to make sure that we dedicate time to sort of celebrate David Foster, because I didn't realize how much he's been in, how much of an influence he has been on our music, but on music in general, and that he can go from pop rock, pop R&B, soul.
I'm telling you,
without
that
missing a beat.
Dude, he's a music god for real.
Wow.
And I can say that I'm very blessed and fortunate to have spent a lot of time with him, in the studio and out of the studio. So, he's one, like I said, he's one of my top four.
Jimmy and Terry, then, what would you say about them? So I think, just especially when you're doing the production stuff, they must have SOS band, they were doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you must have been looking at them as well and thinking,
I was.
Wow.
Yeah, I first saw Jimmy in the studio. There was a studio in LA. God, what was the name of that studio? It was called Studio Masters, or I can't remember. But they were working on doing some music it was a group called Climax, the all-girl group.
Yeah. Bernadette Cooper and
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Well, they actually did, before they did SOS Band, they did a project with Climax, and then the name of that album was called Girls Will Be Girls, I think. Girls Will Be Girls, I think so. To me, that was like some of the funkiest stuff they ever did. They did a song called Heartbreaker, song called Wild Girls. They had a song called Wild Girls. That joint was fire, straight fire. And I just remember they were in the studio cutting some of that stuff. I was with Kipper Jones, who was the lead singer of Tease at the time.
Okay.
So we were working. They had like 3 rooms down there. I think Babyface was working with Whispers in one room. And they let us hear. Face let us hear a little bit of
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. They were cutting Rocksteady in one room. And then in other rooms, Jimmy and Terry. And Jimmy was just, when I walked in, I just remember we walked in because Kipper said, "Hey, man, can we meet Jimmy?" And one of the guys in the studio, he said, "Yeah, let me go talk to him and see if he's cool." And I don't even know if Jimmy remembers this, but we walked in, and I just remember he was ripping on this OBXA. He was just killing it, and I'm looking at it like, I can do that. I can do that. He ain't the only one. He don't know, but he's gonna know one day. He'll know. That's how I was looking at him, just like, God, that's a bad boy. Wow. And I just remember he just turned around. He was really cool. He came over and said, "Hey, nice to meet you." I mean, I was nobody, but still, he was super cool, super cool. And immediately, I was like, I want to be like this dude. He's just super cool, but killing.
His music history, you had LA and Babyface producing in the same studio, and Chuckii Booker's right in the middle. And I don't know if you knew that they were going to be the 2 of the biggest producing.
Already knew. They were
even at that.
Well, at that time, they were already huge. Face was just, he just did Rocksteady, but I knew that song I knew it was going to kill. I did immediately. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, whoa, that's a crazy record. But Jimmy and Terry were doing Climax before they did SOS.
Yeah, but then but their names were their names are synonymous until they did Climax, until they did SOS, and they moved to Alex, and they kept going, and Janet.
Yeah.
So as a producer, you knew that they were, even when they were doing Climax, that, oh, these guys are serious heavy hitters.
Oh, I already knew. I knew they were heavy hitters. You could just tell by listening to their music.
Wow.
I knew.
But
Yeah.
how do you make sure that you're not going all over the place and having the Chuckii Booker style, even though you're influenced by all these what you're hearing? But how do you make sure that, okay, you're not going to try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that, and just not really have your own identity? How is that, as a young producer, seeing all this and thinking, and not being overwhelmed as well? Because some people can be overwhelmed seeing what these guys are doing and think, okay, you know, I don't think I can.
You know, it's just a matter of preference. Some people, or some, I would say some producers, we call them bandwagoners. All they do is they hear the hot sound and then they'll go out and just try to copy it.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless them. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But me, I was just built different. I tried to incorporate all of the influences to make whatever my sound would be. I made that a priority. I did not want to sound exactly like, or I didn't want to sound exactly like this person, or try to be my godfather and do a record and just try to talk low. No, I'm not doing that. I can't do it anyway. So, no, I wanted my own identity. I did. I wanted to have my own identity.
Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you loved what you watched, there's over 100 artists that we've interviewed, so please check out the videos. Remember to like, share, how not unsubscribe, but better still, become a member of Halftime Chat and get exclusive videos ahead of time. But thanks for watching. Take care.